lot to get done. All right, put my apron on. Oh, man. I had so much stuff. I had to get sanded up to 1,000 grit today. That always makes it take longer. Man, the AC in the shop decided to break today, so it was the drip pan keeps getting full, so there's a little switch in there that once the pan gets full, it flips everything off. And I think my next door neighbor's up there trying to get it emptied out now, so it may get a little loud. I don't know, but I think we'll be able to work through it. But it is warm in here. All right. Got some Don Bongs to get done. I got some testing. I got a Boken, bunch of steaks to stain, and I got this big one to stain. So that should be fun. All right, feels weird that I'm talking to nobody, but that's all right. Saturdays just don't seem like anybody really shows up, but that's cool. People can go watch it later. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Staining. I got a bunch of stuff to tongue oil first. All right. First, I got these Don Bong Yawara. I call them Don Bong. Don Bong is a Hapkido Korean thing. They use them in Hapkido, similar to a Yawara. It's a little beefier, a little bit more like a baton than a Yawara. Even a long reach Yawara, it's a little bit more like a fighting stick than a... I forgot to oil the holes. There we go. It's a bit more like a fighting stick, but the ones I make are almost kind of like a hybrid between a Korean Don Bong and a Japanese Yawara. Hello! Welcome, Jacob. Am I making a Molotov cocktail? I am not, no. I am from, I'm not from anywhere. I currently live in Florida, but I am not, I moved around so much as a kid, I don't really have a place that I claim. All right, yeah, but no Molotov cocktails today. Sometimes I think I could use a different kind of cocktail. It has been a crazy few weeks for me. I got laid off from my day job, got a new day job. I decided I'm tired of working in an office, so I'm working in home renovations now, which is a lot of fun. What's my name? My name is Nathan. I run a shop called Warrior Wood and Props on eBay. We have a website as well, warriorwoodandprops.com, but unfortunately it's not really working right now because Shopify has screwed something up and I can't get a person to help me fix it. So, but my name is Nathan. Your big brother's name's Nathan? It's a good name. I enjoy it. Although, funny story, when I was a kid, when I went to kindergarten, I met this kid named Travis. And I thought he was like the coolest kid ever. And I went home And I was so mad at my mother because she didn't name me Travis. I made a whole stink about the fact that my mother didn't name me Travis. Because I thought, you know, maybe if I had that name, I'd be cool like Travis, you know. I was very upset. Apparently I had been given the wrong name. Nate for short. Yeah, I went by Nate when I was younger. Some people still call me Nate, which I don't mind. It's funny though. My mother, when she went to do my birth certificate, apparently when they asked them my name, she told them Nathan, assuming they understood that Nathaniel was the long form. So my birth certificate ended up saying Nathan instead of Nathaniel, which is fine. But my mother was a little upset about that. It's funny though, because with my mother, you know, like when your mom gets mad and she calls you by your full name, you know, like if she went the Nathaniel, like Nathaniel Robert Brown, oh, oh man, I was screwed. I was in so much trouble if that happened. All right, I got a Musashi ore bouquet over here that I'm going to do before I move on to the colored woods. I sold out of these last week. I had an Odachi one, a 48-inch Odachi, and a 40-inch standard size ore bouquet, and I sold out of all of them last week, so I made a 40-inch this weekend. I was going to make an Odachi one, but I just didn't have time or energy for it, so I will make the Odachi next week. My top 3 movies, good movies or bad movies? Because I love both. What am I doing? I am tongue oiling my bokken and my other items from this week. This is a Musashi ore bokken. For those of you familiar with the story of Miyamoto Musashi, he once had a duel with a guy named Sasaki Kojiro. And he was a little late to the duel because he stayed up late with a friend, if you know what I mean. And he rushes out to a boat because it was on a sandbar, right? He rushes out to the boat, gets on the boat, they get out to sea, he realizes he forgot his sword for the duel. Not a great thing to forget when you have a duel. So he grabs one of the extra oars off of the boat and his tanto and carves himself out a bokken. And he goes to fight Sasaki Kojiro and wins. Ends up caving the dude's head in. With the other Sasaki had an actual live blade. Musashi just had a wooden sword, and he still ended up accidentally killing his opponent. So that's why I make ore-style bokken sometimes, because I'm a big fan of Miyamoto Musashi. He didn't do things the way he was expected, and I respect people like that. Your old friend plays cricket? Yes, Sasaki Kojiro was a real pain in the ass, for sure. He was... He used the swallow technique, which was an upswing followed by a downswing. Miyamoto, what he figured out was on the upswing, he would step back and then rush in before the downswing. That was what he figured out. And it worked. He rushed in and cracked Kojiro's skull open with a wooden sword before Kojiro could figure out what had happened. Do I play any games? I do. I play Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is pretty much the only game I play right now. You call that technique the boink? The bonk? Yes, he definitely bonked him in the head. He bonked him in the head until he unalived. So these are Tenarashi Tessen. You'll notice I'm doing these last because they're made out of exotic woods, Padauk and Purple Heart, which can stain other stuff. As you can see, the orange of the wood comes off. These were used by daimyo and samurai. So back in the day, they had Tessen, which are these iron folding fans that were very expensive. A lot of times they'd use them for discipline and smack their subordinates with them. And the problem with that is folding fans are expensive and they break. So they started making these Tenarashi, which is basically, or Tessen out of iron or wood. It's supposed to look like a folded up fan, and they would use it as a club. And these days, people still use them in different martial arts, such as Tessen Jutsu. Trying to remember what else. Jiu-Jitsu, I think, also uses them sometimes. Traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think there's at least one other martial art that still uses it. I started making these a few weeks ago, and I can't seem to keep them in stock. I keep selling out of them, so I had to make a whole bunch more this weekend. I got 2 more, one out of Padauk, one out of Purple Heart. And do the Padauk one first. You just learning English? You speak Spanish? That's okay. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Tsumaki is taking a dirt nap. Ghosts of Tsushima? Yeah, I've heard that's a cool game. I only had Ghosts of Yote just came out, right? Which is kind of like another, not version, but like a new story in that same vein, right? Like basically same game mechanics, just a new story. Yeah, I think that sounds cool. All right, let me get one more towel here so I don't get that orange Padauk dust on the Purple Heart. Purple Heart is probably one of my favorite woods. It is very pretty and it sands up really nice. It's insect resistant, decay resistant. It's pretty awesome stuff. And it's purple, which is kind of cool for a wood. Unfortunately, I think this one, I made one last week and I had to put it on auction because there was a crack in it. And this one, I don't know, it's developed a crack. I'm not sure if it's superficial or not. I will tongue oil it and then let it sit, and then I'll look at it tomorrow and decide if I can sell it or not at full price. If it's still, that crack is still looking visible, or if it's expanded at all, then I'll just auction this one as well. I think I got a bad batch of Purple Heart, maybe. I don't know. Because this piece that cracked last week was from the same lot of wood that I used. So I don't know what that's about. That's Purple Heart. Maple? Yeah, you know what? I make a lot of custom battle bats, like baseball bats. My baseball bats, most of them are hard maple. Some of them are ash. I also have some Yawara that I make out of hard maple, and I have Joe stabs that I used to make out of hard maple. I still have them on the shop, but the company that I used to buy the blanks for those, I don't know what happened. They ran out of stock of the blanks, and they never got them back in stock. So, but I still have a few in stock on my store that are made out of hard maple. Hard maple's good stuff, though. It's light. It's strong. It's not as strong as most other hardwoods, but it's light. Works really well for kata. All right. Is that everything I needed to tongue oil? Yes, it was. All right. Let me put the tongue oil away. And we got some vampire steaks to stain this morning. Because spooky season is upon us, people. You have a PS5? Cool. Most garden furniture is teak. Yeah. Teak Teak is great for furniture. It really is. But yeah, you definitely have to lacquer it. Teak is great for furniture. Not so great for weaponry, but works really well for furniture. All right, I'm going to put this away. I'll be right back. Whew, it's warm in here. So, with Halloween upon us, I make these. These are probably the cheapest steaks I make in my shop. They're made of poplar. I have several different kinds. I have some that have the handles wrapped, some of them that don't, but I keep selling out of them. And can't seem to keep them in stock, so I made a bunch more. I think I'm gonna handle wrap 3 of them, and then the other 3 I'll just have be basics. Oh, man, it has been crazy with the vampire steaks. There usually is around this time of year, though. Usually, though, like, I don't start selling a whole lot of vampire steaks until like middle of September. This year I started selling them like last week of August. People started buying them. I know a lot about wood. Yes, I do. Yeah, it kind of came with choosing to do a shop where I make stuff out of wood. I had to learn. Sorry, I'm trying to dry my hands off here before I put gloves on. Be right back. Let me go get my wipes here. It's very warm in here. The AC cut out a little while ago, so my shop's gotten a little warm. Oh, walnut's great. Actually, I have some Yawara in my shop, some palm sticks that are black walnut. I used to make a lot of different stuff out of black walnut, but unfortunately I had to stop. Black walnut has a substance in it called juglone that when you sand it, if it gets into the air and you breathe it too much, you can develop a sensitivity to it, and I am now so sensitive to walnut that if I even touch it, I develop respiratory issues. So I have to stay away from black walnut or any walnut for a while. I'm hoping maybe in a year the sensitivity will have gone away. Sometimes that happens and I can start working with it again. But for right now, can't work with black walnuts, which kind of sucks because I really like black walnut. Yeah, I didn't know that was an issue. When I was, it was last year, I think, around this time, actually, I think it was close around Christmas, I had a lot of orders in black walnut, and I had one of the filters in my respirator had failed, and I didn't realize it. The connection on it was bad, and I didn't realize, and so I ended up breathing in a whole bunch of black walnut dust. And, oh my God, these gloves do not want to go on my sweaty hands. Ah, come on, gloves. Get on my fingers. But yeah, I ended up breathing in a whole bunch of it, and then like it kind of felt like I had developed asthma for weeks. My doctor even gave me an inhaler to deal with it until I saw for like a few weeks I couldn't work with anything. I couldn't be around. I couldn't even work with any woods for like a few weeks because my lungs were so sensitive from the juglone poisoning. All right, well, my gloves look wonky, but we're going with it anyway. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that, but no worries. I'm all right. Comes with the territory, and probably in a year or so, I'll be able to work with it again. Just got to stay away from it. I actually had a piece of black walnut in the shop. A couple weeks ago, I noticed it, and I picked it up to move it and did not put gloves on, and I touched it and ended up coughing my lungs out all night because I touched it, which is weird. It's weird how touching it can cause you to have issues, but it can. It's also apparently toxic to most livestock, like horses and cattle. Ranchers will go around their property and look for walnut trees, and if they find one, they'll cut it down, they'll burn the roots, because if a horse or a cow, if they even touch the root of a walnut tree, like with their hoof, it can kill them. It's super toxic to them, which is really weird. Oh man, it is warm in here. All right. Let's get these steaks. I'm going to do these in Jacobean, and I've got some Provincial. I think that's Jacobean. I hope that's... Yeah, it is. Okay. And I've got some Provincial stain that I'm going to use for a different steak that I made today. All right. Let's see, put this over here. All right, yep. I'm on live. What's that? Okay. Yeah, I figured as much.
I blew it out with an air hose. Now it's draining up there. It's empty up there.
Oh, okay.
So I'll get some bleach and...
No worries.
I got it clear for now. We'll see.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, our AC went out, so he was letting me know that the drain thing was clogged again, so he blew it out. He's gonna have to put some bleach in it. Hopefully that works, because we're at the tail end of summer over here in Florida. I know most places are already enjoying fall weather. We are not. It is in the 90s during the day here. It is warm. Without getting political, what's my favorite dessert? My favorite dessert, that's a tough one. You know what? Okay, so like if I'm in a restaurant, the one that I'm most partial to, if I see it on the menu, is creme brulee. I love creme brulee. Also chocolate cake, man. I never say no to chocolate cake. Which I'm sure you can tell that just by looking at me. I have one of those weird like physiques where it's like you can tell I work out, but you can also tell that I really like cake. Right? Because you need to spill that. You know, I'm good with the working out part. Like I stay active, but I suck at the dieting part. Like they always say diet and exercise. I got the exercise part down. Just not so great on the diet part, which is fine. Like as I feel like if I have to live a life without cake in order to have like a flat stomach, I'd rather just not have a flat stomach, because I really like cake. Cake's delicious. Cheesecake, I like cheesecake. I'm not a huge cheesecaker though. Like if you offer me cheesecake, I'll tell you what I do love. I love like flavored cheesecakes. Like if you offer me, you know, like a chocolate swirl cheesecake, or, you know, something like that, or like I actually had a maple syrup cheesecake at some place when I was traveling last year. It was freaking delicious. I think I was in Boston. It was delicioso. So yeah, I won't say no to cheesecake for sure, but it's usually not a first choice for me. Oh, tiramisu? Yeah, tiramisu is good. I like tiramisu. I don't think, you know, honestly, I don't know anyone who doesn't like tiramisu. I just don't think about it very much. It's not usually on the menu, you know, in most places. But when it is on the menu, yeah, tiramisu is good stuff. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's good. Tiramisu is delicioso. All right, just a few more of these. And then I got one more. I'm gonna call this the fence post, is what I'm calling this other steak that I've got, because it kind of just looks like a piece of fence. Which I left. Actually, the lumber had some stamps on it and some lot stamps on it. I left those on there. I thought it would look cooler. But yeah, tiramisu is good stuff. And don't, you know, without getting, like, as you said, without getting too political, you know. All right. Woot, moving right along. So what's everybody up to this weekend anyway? I think what I'm up to is pretty obvious. Working. I feel like that's all I'm ever up to these days is working, but that's okay. It's spooky season has begun, and it's kind of what I've come to expect, which is fine. I'd rather have so many orders coming in that I'm busy than not. So definitely selling out of stuff is a good problem to have, so definitely not complaining about that. But it is hard to keep stuff in stock. Oh, Jacob, you have to go? No worries, man. Great time speaking with you, too. Sorry I didn't see that before you left. All right, another vampire steak down. Let me go put this one up. Got one more of these. And then we got the big boy vampire steak. And then we are done, son. I probably should have done the big one first because it's a lighter stain than I'm using on that one. Then I got to switch gloves. That's all right. All right, looks like last steak of this batch is done. Now we just got to do that big boy, and then we're good to go. Actually, you know what? I might be able to clean these gloves off. I am so sweaty, I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get another pair of gloves on. So let me close this bad boy up. And see if I can wipe the stain off of these gloves enough that it won't cause me issues. All right, I guess got one more stain to do. Woot woot! Oh, there we go. That wasn't what I meant to do. For this one, I'm using a slightly lighter stain. It's a provincial stain. Oh my God, I got an itch in my eye. Trying to find something to scratch it with that isn't covered in wood stain. There we go. All right. Because this one is meant to kind of look like a fence post. This is a bigger steak. I usually try to keep my steaks small, but every now and then it's fun to make a big one. I actually have these fun ones that are called, I call them vampire bats. It's actually a baseball bat that I sharpen into a steak. And they're a lot of fun because, you know, that way the vampire hunter can smack the shit out of the vampire and then steak the vampire. Thank you, Angela. Exactly. Picket fence, vampire deterrent. That's right, Tony. But, you know, I find that with props for costumes, it's more fun. Sometimes people don't want something that looks all that finished. They want something that kind of looks like it was hastily put together, you know, out of something that's at hand. And so when I have stuff like that, I try to use it. You get a little bit more of that stain on there. There we go. I don't know if you can see it. There's little lumber stamps on this. And I left them on so that it would look more like somebody just grabbed a piece of picket fencing and sharpened it up. Tomorrow I'll put some kind of handle wrap on it. I haven't decided if I want to do like a cord wrap. I thought maybe like hockey tape would look cool on this, you know, give it kind of a more of a rough look. We'll see. I can always do hockey tape, and then if I don't like it, I can cord wrap over the hockey tape. There we go. And that looks more like an actual like picket fence. The dark stain would, I think, not look quite right. I want it to look more like someone just yanked up a piece of fencing. There we go. Hey guys, check it out. I'm a fencer. Get it? Because it's a... Okay, that was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. Woot, woot. All right. Well, you guys, that was my last piece to stain for today. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat, and I will gladly answer them while I'm cleaning up my area here. Oh my God, I'm so sweaty. The AC finally popped back on just now, but it's going to take a while for the shop to get cool again. It's about 85 degrees in here, so getting these gloves off and on has been a bitch this morning because my hands have been so sweaty. But I will be live tomorrow morning at around 7:30 a.m. for my Sunday Finishing Work Live. That one usually goes longer. My Saturday lives tend to go about 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes. Very rarely do they go an hour. My Sunday, oh God, I got stain all over my arm. My Sunday Finishing Work Lives always usually go at least an hour, if not 2 hours. So if you're awake at the ungodly hour of 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on a Sunday, you can come watch me finish all this stuff and get it all corded up and handle wrapped and all that jazz, make it all pretty. I've got some other projects that I'll also be working on tomorrow morning that I didn't stain today because they were already stained. Sunday Finishing Works usually a little longer, a little more fun. We get to see what they actually look like when I'm done with them. All right, be right back. I did hammer that shit. Yeah, I did. Tom Sawyer Vampire Hunter. I love that. Tom Sawyer Vampire Hunter edition. That's awesome. But for literary accuracy there, Tony, if it was going to be the Tom Sawyer edition, I'd have to paint it white because they were whitewashing that picket fence in Tom Sawyer. So it would have to be whitewashed or painted white at least to be accurate to the book. That's not a bad idea though. To be honest, I have a piece in here that I could make that out of. I might do that as a joke. Sometimes it's funny though, I'll make stuff as a joke and it ends up selling. That's weird to me. Sometimes I make stuff and think, I'm just gonna do this as a joke. And like the vampire bat, the first one of those I made it as a joke. And now I sell about 3 or 4 of those a year, it seems like. Usually around the Halloween period. All right, everybody, I gotta go. I got errands to run and miles to go before I sleep and all that jazz. So if you got a question, drop it in the chat real quick. I'll try to answer it. But if not, I'm gonna get out of here. I got shit to do. But thank you for joining me for Saturday Staining. As I said, I'll be live tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for Sunday finishing work. If you want to check out my shop, you can go to eBay. It's Warrior Wood and Props. You can also go to warriorwoodandprops.com. If you go to my bio, my link tree is in my bio. You can find links to all of my stuff in my link tree. Or if you don't want to deal with all that jazz, just go to eBay and search Vampire Steak and or Vampire Hunter Steak, and my stuff comes up pretty much right away. I can't read that. Shit. Stay sober. I am sober. I am. I've been sober for quite a long time. I don't really drink since about 2018. So it's been about 7, almost 8 years. I'm sober. We're all good. But thank you guys for the likes. Thank you for the questions. This has been really fun. I'm out of here. Drink and sober up again. All right, you guys. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the morning. Take care, everybody.